Hey everybody, it's Lisa from Shabby Road Studio. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to have a little play with an altered board book again. So a children's board book. I have this one I chose out of the stash that I've collected lately. And it's really big. Look how big that is compared to my hand. And I like the shape. So we're going to use this one today. I want to do like a fall theme. And so I went to my friend on Etsy, Anton from Bontik Vintage Designs, and I love his whimsical fall digital print here. So this is what I'm going to use. We're going to do some backgrounding on these pages and incorporate these images from this kit. And if anybody is interested in doing something similar with this kit or just using this kit for whatever, Anton is always offering my subscribers 55% off, and I believe the discount code is Shabby Road 55, and I'll put all that in the description. So Bontik Vintage Designs, and the code for the discount is Shabby Road 55 if you're interested in this or anything else in his shop. Okay, so I'm gonna set these aside, but oh my gosh, aren't they beautiful? Look at the colors. They're so fun. Just whimsical. I'm just really into whimsical lately. And if you've been watching any of my other videos, you'll know that. So, we're just going to... I'm going to set them too far. We're going to be putting on... I don't think I'm going to start with the front. I'm going to start inside. So, we're going to be putting on scraps. I have this whole tub of just different scraps and things that are perfect for collaging, and I have that right next to me so that we can just start layering some of these papers on these pages. We're going to do these two first. We'll do 2 pages and just work from there so we don't have to wait for the whole book to dry. So I am taking a very, very expensive, very high quality makeup brush. You thought I was going to say this is some kind of a special art brush. No, I get these crazy makeup brushes from garage sales, and I like the fact that it's chunky and you can just glob a bunch of stuff on here. So I am using this. Yes, I am. We're just going to dip into the matte gel and start doing some layering on these pages. It's just all about getting some of the texture on the background first. And I really enjoyed that last board book I did with the, just all the grungy, oh, that's why it's not sticking, it's double layered. All the grungy layers. So this is how you do it. You just start applying scrap. And when it's pushed into the background behind everything else, it just adds such a neat hidden texture that you're just kind of like, you're looking at it thinking, why is this so, you know, textury? And it adds depth, and you don't maybe see it, but it's there. So, yeah. I just want to try to keep the bubbles out of these scraps. Such cute little images, but we're going to cover you up and make some really pretty whimsical fall images. Been wanting to get back into playing in a journal or art journal or something, and this just, I don't know, I was talking to Anton about doing another collaboration, and this is what I felt like I wanted to do. Oh yeah, I remember getting so messy with these. Okay, I mean, that's probably a good start for this page. So let's make sure they're all good and stuck. Yeah, okay. I need a napkin. So I'm gonna dry this and then I'll be back. Okay, this is all dry, and now the next step is to put something in the crease here, in the fold of the book. I'm going to use some of this. I'm going to use some of this packing tape. I just want to see what length we're looking at. Just about 5 3/4. So I want to do a better job at measuring here for my tape. I'm just going to cut it at 5 3/4, and I hope I got it right. You could probably use any tape. I know that this is pretty sturdy, and then we can gesso over it, paint over it, whatever we want to do. Yeah. There we go. Okay, so our next step is going to be to go ahead and gesso again over this whole page. So get this up. I'm just using the Liquitex Basics gesso. It's not the professional grade, I don't think. I'm going to use my same brush as I did for my Mod Podge, my matte medium. And we're going to get a pretty thick covering of this because we want it to cover up most of the images underneath, most of the color from the pages in the book. But it's probably not going to cover everything in this first coat. It pushes it back pretty well, but I think this is going to be a fun art journal for fall, just to kind of give us a jumping off. Oops, I'm making a mess underneath there. By using the digital kit, it gives us a place to jump off from. You can add using the colors from the digital for your paint choices or whatever else you want to use, and it just kind of gives you that springboard to create from. I'm not an artist, like I don't draw, I don't know how to draw. I wouldn't know how to paint faces. So for me, I like to use digitals and just kind of work and create around them. And that's what we're going to do here. So now we're going to let this layer dry, and I'll be back. Okay, so the gesso is fairly dry. I think it's pretty dry. I want to put some, we're just going to add to this background using some of my favorite little Webster's Dictionary. Man, I love this thing, and I'm going to be really sad when it's gone. Copyright 1953 was the latest. It's just so cool. The size of the print, the color of the paper. It's just super fragile, but it's perfect for collage. So I'm just going to do some, more collaging but it's going to be a layer that's going to show, so it's not like I'm going to cover this layer up. I mean, some of it will be covered up with like paints and things, but for the most part, this is a layer that I will want to show. It'll be part of the main visual background. Oh, I love it so much. You ever find that one supply, that one art supply that you have and you want to use it because it's awesome, but when you use it, you're like, ugh, I won't have it again. You know, I don't know that I'll ever find another one of these. I might, but who knows? It's kind of a treasure to find. But if you're going to gather these fun things and you don't use them, it's kind of sad too. I won't make you sit and watch me fill this entire page. I'm going to do that and then I'll be back. Okay, I have gone ahead and added more. I didn't just use the dictionary. I added some graph paper, some music sheets, and some other book paper just to give a neutral background for our printable. So I want to work with 1/2, obviously, at a time. So I'm going to take that half. I just kind of want to separate her from the leaves. So I think I'm going to just do a rough tear of her. I don't want to cut and have perfect lines. I want to kind of just take a little bit of a border around her. Not too much. I adore her. The red hair and the freckles, it's just so adorable. I love this image so much. Yeah, I don't like that pointy chin. All right, I gotta cut that because every time I rip, it gets worse. There we go. Okay, so I think we want to have her down here. And maybe something like that up here. Yeah, I like that. I do think we do still need to knock all this back with some gesso before we do any kind of painting with colors that will match our girl here. So I think a little bit more gesso on top. Scrape some off there. I didn't sand these pages. Ugh, I hate doing that. It's so messy. I see some people do it and some people don't. So I'm just going to try to do a no sanding. And hope. Yeah, that's not bad. Let me grab. Okay, so I'm going to take a baby wipe and just taking a little bit of that gesso off. I like the way that's making the gesso look, especially on this page over here. Okay. More messy mess. And now, of course, we have to let this layer dry. Okay, so that layer of gesso is dry. What I want to do next is I love the rusty hinge, and I think that the rusty hinge is gonna be good with this girl. So I'm just gonna kind of get crazy here and just play around. I don't know. This could go awfully wrong, or it could be really cool. We're hoping for cool. And then I'm gonna take water. And where's that? I just wanna move the color all over into all the textured cracks here. That's looking good. Yeah. Nice. Okay. Nice. I like that. It grabs onto the little textured papers that we glued on. Love it. That is fun. Okay. Let's let that layer dry. A lot of dry. Okay, so I'm going to take, I can't even read this. It's something red. I want to get some of that in here. And I want to get some, this is vintage photo. I don't even know. This is pretty old. Is there, yeah, I guess there's still. Kind of want to go around the edge with the vintage photo. I don't have a peeled paint in the pads, but I have it in this dauber thing. This is so old. We're just gonna run some greens. I'm just doing it random because we're gonna do the same thing we did before. We're just gonna do some sprays of water to get that moving. And I'm just gonna use my brush and just kind of play around with it. I don't want stripes, but didn't want to mix the colors too much. But it's just giving a fall vibe, and it kind of goes with what she's got on. And her hair, her beautiful red hair. I think we're gonna dry that and see what happens. Okay, now I'm gonna take ground espresso, and I'm gonna use my paddle brush. But I guess I am. We're just grungying up this background now with some this ground espresso. This is going to be a very grungy fall background. I'm going to pick up some of those edges of the texture paper. I love how it's looking. Just grungying it up. Nice, yeah. Okay. Now what I want to do is just see how our girl fits and see how she feels on this page. I do want her like kind of right here looking up to this area, and then maybe bring her down a tad bit into this corner. Add this piece right here. Then we're going to, kind of soften the edges up on both pieces after it's good and dry, after everything's good and dry. So I want to let this background dry. It's not dry, and I want to let this dry before we add these pieces. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to let this really dry. It's not drying that well with my heat gun. I want it to just sit here and naturally dry. I love that though. Can you see it? Oh my goodness. That's fantastic. Okay, so we're going to let this dry kind of naturally. And then when it is dry, I'll be back with our next step. Okay, the background has dried and I have kind of ripped up the paper, kind of how I think I might want to do it. I did cut out some of these leaves roughly. I didn't want them just the leaf. I left the borders around them. I kind of like it that way. So we're just going to apply these to the page. And I know that it probably looks, maybe might seem strange to put the pieces on like this, but I kind of have a plan in my mind, so you know, sometimes that works out and sometimes it doesn't. Just absolutely love her. Okay, I like how that page looks, so we're going to, oops, get this page. Perfect. And I'm just going to go over the top to seal that. Alright, and then a little bit on the leaves. Oh, that one just moved. Okay. So, okay, now we need to let this layer dry before we do anything else with this page. Okay, so I have some of this old tea bag, and I thought that might be fun to add little bits here and there. I want to add some to this corner. I don't know, hopefully that matte gel will hold this tea bag down. I've never really used it for tea bags before. So we're just adding to this page that we ripped. Okay. It might be fun over on this side too. Fits kind of right there. Yeah, I guess like that. Just anything to add texture and layers for me is what I look for. I think it's fun to add all these different pieces. Let's see. I'm just going to keep adding some pieces down this crack. I like that. It kind of bridges the two together. I like that up there too. That's fun. Okay. I'm going to look for maybe some stamps or something that we could add to give some more interest to this page, and I'll be back. Okay, so I got one of my favorites. It's the crackle. I'm just going to add little bits, I don't know, just randomly. They just leave a really cool feel to the page. Love it. Nice. This is one of my very favorites. So simple, but when you apply it to a page, it just adds so much fun depth. It looks crackly, it looks old, it looks aged. That's awkward. There we go. Okay, that's fun. We'll definitely be using a lot of that. And then this one fell out when I was looking for that one. It's a leaf. I don't know if I really want to use that one. I just don't know if there's going to be... Let's see what it looks like. Don't know if there's a place for that on this, so I'm going to skip that for now. I don't want to get it too crazy, but I'm liking it. I really am. So I think what's missing is some gold. And I'm just going to run my finger in and do a little bit around the edges. Just get a little bit on and then just kind of go at it at a kind of like an angle. You might get a little bit more, a little bit less. Just depends on how you hold your finger and how much paint you put on there. Okay, I love that. Oops, how did I end up with a swipe right there? Oh, don't know how I ended up with that line right there. Oh, I think I had this sitting there. I'm gonna have to fix that somehow because I don't want that there. I don't have any more leaves. I'll figure it out. I'll put something on there, but I think for now this is good for this 2-page spread. I may come back and add something, but for the most part, I'm happy with it, how it turned out. And so I will probably do some more pages in here. Maybe I'll film them, or like I'll go ahead and do them and then come back and show you a flip through. But chances are there's enough pages in here that I'll probably come back and do another 1 or 2 on camera with you. So, okay. Before we end for this video, I wanted to come back and show you that I did some modeling paste through a stencil here and just did some gold and some orange, well, rusted hinge. And I added a couple of sayings. There's beauty in simplicity over here, collect beautiful moments. Oh, and I added, can you see it? Right here, I added a die cut bird, kind of went around that with some gold. So all in all, I'm happy with this first spread for fall in the Altered Children's Board Book. And again, the printables are super beautiful. They are from Bontik Vintage Designs. And if you go there and purchase anything, you can use the discount code ShabbyRoad55 and get 55% off. Hanging out with me today with our first spread in our new Altered Board Book fall project. All right, you guys, I'll see you on the next video. Bye.